involvement in that. It tossed it over to the Senate. The Senate evaluated it and acquitted him of those particular accusations. So we've already handled this through the proper channels, the political channels. That's
hi guys, welcome back to Chimera Squad.
This, the Democrats now already going after
Modded.
the Supreme Court. They're calling this the maggot court for its ruling. That's next.
Introducing Allison's Black Psoriasis. She thinks her flaky gray patches are all she will see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat black psoriasis. Otezla can help you get clear skin. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla have depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair. That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. Those repairs are more expensive than ever. A new engine can be over $5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy.
I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big bill. You needed repairs, CarShield was there for it.
Now it's your turn to get the peace of mind that comes with having CarShield, so you can worry less about auto repairs. Call or go online right now to get CarShield for yourself. Friendly, knowledgeable, money-saving representatives are available 24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck to get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
I was elated that I had CarShield. I'm more than happy.
There's no fun when you have a car that's broken and you can't pay for it to get it fixed.
Here's how CarShield works. When your car needs repair, you take it to your favorite mechanic or even your dealer, and CarShield gets them paid directly. That's why CarShield is America's #1 auto protection provider.
CarShield is just the best thing to take away the fear that something is going to go wrong with your car, because it will. And CarShield is going to be there to back you up.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can count on CarShield to cover it for me. CarShield definitely has my back.
Now it's the time to make the smart choice and protect yourself from sky-high auto repair bills. Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed, and once your car breaks down, it's too late. Call 1-800-908-6039 or go to carshield.com. Get covered today.
Evan Grishkovich will remain jailed on espionage charges.
Grishkovich faces up to 20 years behind bars if found guilty. Our prayers are with Evan and his family.
Overloading target.
This is a very special case, very special.
Sleep on a job.
Like the welcome.
Whoa.
Here, graceful.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my team feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs were me, but how can you feel free to talk about it with kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support.
We are getting new reaction from the White House and Democrats. The Supreme Court's historic ruling on presidential immunity sending aftershocks throughout Washington and the country. Madeline Rivera with reaction from the White House. Madeline.
Emily, the Biden campaign just wrapped up a press call regarding this ruling, and the talk on that call
was quite dark, with some of the speakers warning that the former president could use this ruling to go after his political opponents. One of those speakers on that call was Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, and she described feeling shook. So far, the reactions that we've been getting so far have been for the Biden campaign. A senior campaign advisor saying this: today's ruling doesn't change the facts, so let's be very clear about what happened on January 6th. Donald Trump snapped after he lost the 2020 election and encouraged a mob to overthrow the result of a free and fair election. Trump is already running for president as a convicted felon for the very same reason he sat idly by while the mob violently attacked the Capitol. He thinks he's above the law and is willing to do anything to gain and hold on to power for himself. Clearly, the Biden campaign making it clear they're not changing course, at least when it comes to how they want to put the former president on defense for what happened on January 6th. And the campaign insists the president is best fit to beat the former president. That is despite the low point the president currently finds himself in, fending off calls to leave the race after his dismal debate performance. No comment from the president himself for now, but he did say this in December when asked whether any president is absolutely immune from criminal prosecution.
I can't think of one.
Meantime, former President Trump saying on Truth Social, big win for our Constitution and democracy, proud to be an American. And again, no comment yet from the White House or the president. If that changes, we will, of course, let you know. Emily, back to you.
Madeline, thank you.
You got it. Well, the Democrats are seizing on the ruling and, predictably, going after the court. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries released the following statement that reads in part: House Democrats will engage in aggressive oversight and legislative activity with respect to the Supreme Court to ensure that the extreme far-right justices in the majority are brought into compliance with the Constitution. And former Obama advisor Van Jones also attacked the High Court. Watch.
It's bad. It makes the Supreme Court look very partisan. They're supposed to be wearing these kind of black and white umpire jerseys or whatever. They look like they're wearing red jerseys or even MAGA hats. It's going to go down bad politically for the Supreme Court. It's also scary because what is Trump going to do? Trump gets elected, and there's this idea that he can get away with even more stuff. That's really, really scary for the public because he already ran over every norm that he could. So it seems like, I mean, just look at it politically, not legally, politically, it's almost like a license to thug in a way. Like, you can do whatever you want, and the Supreme Court is probably going to let you get away with it. That is very frightening in this case, and so I'm very, very concerned.
Stay behind cover.
Well, here for reaction, Jonathan Turley, constitutional law attorney and law professor at George Washington University. He is also a Fox News contributor. Jonathan, what do you make of the license to thug argument and the fact that the Supreme Court justices have to be, quote, brought into compliance?
Well, if you drive through Washington, it seems like everyone is just breathing into paper bags today. And it's something that you just want to go up, put your arm around, saying it's going to be okay. We have a Constitution that has survived for a reason. The hyperbolic language, it has a dangerous aspect to it because it's an effort to say something that is not true. If you read the opinion, it is not a wild partisan opinion. To the contrary, it rejected the extreme arguments on both sides. It found a middle road, as many of us suggested. And these people like Senator Blumenthal coming out and saying that they're nothing but partisan hacks. These are attacks we've heard for years. When we even had Majority Leader Schumer go to the steps of the Supreme Court and threaten justices that they are going to be held personally accountable for these rulings. That's the danger to the rule of law. It is the lack of respect to the institution and these justices. I have agreed and disagreed with every one of these justices, but I must tell you, I respect every one of the 9. They try to get things right. I sometimes think that their opinions are just radically off base. I strongly disagree with Justice Sotomayor's opinion today. But I have a lot of respect for her and for her colleagues. And this is with the test, not just of citizens, but our leaders, to be able to transcend the politics of the moment, to say that there were good arguments on both sides. But I'm afraid that's what I wrote about in my new book, which is The Age of Rage. This is what rage is. It's addictive. People like it. And you see that in with the House Minority Leader. You see that with Senator Blumenthal. They like it. And the cost will be borne by the court, perhaps. But by the way, when a CNN commentator warns the court that this isn't going to work well for you politically, you're going to have justices say, well, here's a flash for you, Lord. We're not political. That's why we're given life tenure. And whether it's good politically or not, we're supposed to stand up for against everyone in the world as the Constitution.
Final question, Professor. What do you make of the fact that this decision, which, if anything, is squarely in comport with the Constitution and sort of solidifies the boundaries between certain powers, that being called extreme? Is it extreme because in this day and age, apparently deviating from the Constitution has become mainstream and now we are back to where we should have started, where we did start with the framers?
No, and most of the people who are the loudest today are the ones that were demanding speedy rulings from these courts. Get on with it. Let's try Trump. Let's convict Trump. The Supreme Court rejected that. They're doing the same with Judge Cannon down in Florida, saying, why can't you be like that D.C. judge and just move like a rocket docket? Well, that D.C. judge was wrong. So was the D.C. Circuit. They moved quickly and they moved wrongly. Now, I don't blame them because this is creating new clarity in the Constitution. But speed's not the measure. But to say that this is extremism, it means that you have not read the opinion. They found that middle path because the Constitution is about balances. The checks and balance system is the genius of James Madison. And that's what they were trying to do here, to do the right thing, not for this case, but for future cases. They did right for the ages, as Justice Gorsuch said. But even if you disagree with it, there's a time when as citizens we have to embrace our common identity around the rule of law. You can disagree with these justices without attacking them, going to their houses and harassing their families, because that's what this reckless rhetoric does.
That's right, Professor. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to bring the conversation back to the couch. So, Andy, to that point, we saw the same unfortunate pattern after the Roe v. Wade decision, which is all of a sudden attack the justices, we've got to pack the court, and there's no language to soften any type of criticism or disagreement with the ruling, i.e., I respect the court, however, this ruling saddens me because X, Y, Z. There's, unfortunately, a much more aggressive tone. And
cool.
What it does is raise.
That was a good mission. Except I got one of my guys taken out, but I got to replace androids. So that's dope.
Because it works. I mean,
I think I might upgrade the androids too, because that might come in handy in later levels.
On the Supreme Court, since they changed their rulings, but this is what they do across the board. Part of I think the disconnect in the country.
You're going after the max,
okay. Everybody's got to follow the rules. And the rules have to apply equally to everybody. And the people that...
Great, three guys I don't want.
Particularly the progressive left, they believe, as a philosophical matter, this is like out in the open, in using the power of government and using intimidation in order to move the ball up the field. So they'll work within the rules as far as it will take them. And then if they hit a brick wall, then they'll be in front of the justices' homes, and they'll be doing all the intimidation tactics that they do. They do it because it works. And if you want to get an assessment of how well it works, look at the Democratic Party. Look at the Democratic Party in the last 25 years. I mean, take Hillary Clinton during the Bill Clinton administration when they were doing health care. She was like the biggest radical nut job in the country, right? That's the way everybody came to her. Now, she's like the sound, mainstream, solid Democrat, right? Hillary hasn't moved an inch in 20 years. It's the Democratic Party went from here to here. And John talked about no one will read this ruling, and that's right. They know no one will read. No one's going to sit down and lawyers aren't going to sit down and read 96 pages. So a lot of people in the country are going to be influenced by what Hakeem Jeffries tells them the decision says. And they do it because it works.
Will it? You know, we've been sort of, in all of our polling and conversations with Americans throughout the country, we think January 6th quite behind the economy and et cetera. So the question is, will this particular hot point actually move the needle, do you think?
No, because I think the people who do take the time to, if not read it thoroughly, analyze it, you know, to the point that I made earlier, they will realize that it's also beneficial for them. This is not something that singularly benefits Donald Trump. And, you know, Andy is absolutely right about the radicalization of the messaging. And the way that this dissent is written by Justice Sotomayor, it's no different than people going to Louvre and supergluing their hands to the Mona Lisa. It doesn't change the argument or how people feel about climate change. What it does is people hear noise and they turn away from the argument altogether. I think it has the same effect, and I think justices should be above that. I think they should use careful, sometimes colorful legal language, but certainly not as political as this is. We're already hyper-politicized. The one thing that people could finally agree on in our politics was that Joe Biden cannot be president anymore after the debate.
And another major story breaking today on that note, President Biden's desperate bid to save his re-election campaign, as new reports now claim that it's Jill Biden who is keeping the president away from people who would convince him to drop out the 2024 race. Stay with us, guys.
Reclamation needs sacred soil where a variety of City 31's missing. Stop the and recover them from sacred soil. Time is of the
Pain was keeping me off my game. And now I'm winning again. Blue Emu's the powerful relief I need.
Shop our expanded family of products at major online retailers. Summer's burning heat is here. And for many animals, help can't come fast enough. These animals are suffering from rays of sun that they can't escape. They don't have access to any shelter or shade. They're licking the bottom of bowls that have been dry for days. These animals are dying from heat. For many animals across the country right now, the suffering is excruciating and time is running out. There are animals wasting away under the hot sun, no access to shelter, no access to fresh water. They are suffering. Will you help an animal who's suffering in the burning sun right now? Visit this website, call or scan the code on your screen. Your gift of just $19 a month can be the difference between life and death for an animal this summer. There are situations in which an animal will lay down and they will give up, because that honestly is their better escape from reality. And that's why we can't give up, and why we need you right this minute before it's too late. 63 cents a day will provide shelter, water, and loving care to an animal who may not survive much longer. Say yes to pulling an animal out of the burning heat today. Join with your monthly gift in the next 5 minutes, and we'll send you this welcome kit and one-of-a-kind t-shirt. We know it's our responsibility to give them that shelter as soon as possible, to give them that water, to give them that chance to survive. So please, don't wait another second. Help rescue an animal today. Go online, call, or scan right now.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
Wow. So sudden. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage, so we don't have to worry about it.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan for Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. Sometimes we just need a reminder not to take today for granted. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions. so you can't be turned down for any health reason. The 995 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life plan. Options start at just $9.95 a month. It's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate can never go up. It's locked in for life. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary plan. So call now.
Call 1-800-908-6060 for free information and a free gift. That's 1-800-908-6060. 1-800-908-6060. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn. President Biden, in a desperate bid to save his re-election campaign after his disastrous debate last week, new reports say that while Democrats are rallying behind the president publicly, many are raising doubts about his candidacy privately. Donors are worried that the ticket is on a path to defeat, and they could be right. Politico is now reporting that Democratic Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has told Biden's campaign.
I try to cover as many points as possible when I do it without getting downgraded.
And she says it's no longer winnable. And in another blow, this New York Times headline, to serve his country, President Biden should leave the race. That was the editorial board. But the Biden team says he's not going anywhere, confirming to Fox that the president has no plans to drop out. New reports claim First Lady Jill Biden is largely to credit for that. And while the Biden campaign is in a tailspin, the First Lady defended Joe in her new Vogue spread.
Yowza.
Jill's interview for the cover was done last week before the debate, but the magazine called after the national reaction and got this comment from the First Lady, quote, "They will not let those 90 minutes define the 4 years he's been president. We will continue to fight." She added, "We will always do what's best for the country." You know, Rebecca, I want to put that picture back up because I think it's an important one. This is the First Lady. She's on Vogue. And according to reports from Kate Bennett and others, that's a multi-$1,000 outfit she's wearing, very much in touch with the American people. Daily Mail reported it was more than that. And the Daily Mail said the photo portrays an image of authority at a time Democrats say she is the only one who can take Joe Biden off the ticket. Vogue says it is Jill Biden who will remain the president's closest confidant. So the question becomes, who's running the country?
Well, evidently it is Dr. Jill Biden advising the president. And of course, there's a new reported piece that says that President Biden is taking advice from Hunter Biden as well about some of his decisions. So we know those two are deeply influential. You know, I would take Jill Biden's, I would take her up on the offer. She says about 90 minutes, she doesn't want that to define his presidency. Then let's do an unscripted Q&A with President Biden every week from here on out. Let's hear it. Because I got questions about Afghanistan. He did not answer them. He answered a question on Afghanistan in response to a question about the economy. He didn't know, evidently, that there were 13 service members killed during the precipitous withdrawal, or that 3 American service members were killed in Jordan just 6 months ago. So let's hear some more unscripted, no teleprompter questions from President Biden.
It's a great idea. And Kennedy, Katie Rogers of the New York Times had some reporting about what they did this weekend. You know, you think after a debate performance like this, we all regroup and rethink maybe running. No, not the Bidens. Let's put it up. Here's Katie Rogers at the New York Times. Camp David, Biden spent the morning not having a summit, but in hair and makeup for a shoot with Annie Leibovitz, Vogue photog who shot Biden, Obama, Clinton in March, then suggested doing something informal with the Bidens. Family suggested this week because Hunter and family in town. Well, Chad Gilmartin asked the question, America's getting a part-time president who's easily confused and exhausted. They get fame, fortune, and Vogue covers.
Yeah, isn't that, that's neat. And that's really the kind of glossy stuff you should do post-presidency. And I think there are a lot of Democrats who certainly would have celebrated the one term of President Biden. But now it wasn't just the 90 minutes that is defining his presidency or his life in public service. It betrays someone who is incapable of the most basic tasks of being a human being, not to mention the most powerful, important job in the world. We cannot have a 6-hour president. The presidency requires someone who, you know, like Hillary Clinton said, can wake up in the middle of the night and take that 2 a.m. phone call. He can't do that. And, you know, of course, Jill Biden and Hunter Biden want him to hang on to the presidency because they are the beneficiaries of the power and the access and all the trappings that go with the job. So these are the last two people he should be listening to. But you've got the New York Times, you've got the Atlantic, you've got the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You know, all of these major media outlets calling for him to step aside, but because of hubris and ego and the desire for power, he absolutely cannot let himself.
Andy, and if you believe the reporting, Jill Biden and her office, Anthony Bernal, works in her office, they've been a large part of this cover-up, and it goes back 3 years. Listen to this very closely. This is an anecdote, not from July 4th last year, but 3 years ago. And it says this: Biden's behavior stunned many in the White House, in part because Biden's closest aides, often led by Jill Biden's top aide, Anthony Bernal, and Deputy Chief of Staff Annie Tomasini, took steps early in his term to essentially rope off the president. Here it is. On July 4th, 2021, Biden hosted a party on the South Lawn. It was a hot day, and after hours outside, Biden went into the White House,
that's a big miss.
into the nearby map room. He sat down, and the door was abruptly shut as Biden's aides blocked the White House butlers and resident staff from aiding the president. They siphoned off the resident staff.
Yeah, I think it's time to have 25th Amendment hearings.
Wow.
Look, I don't really care that much about the campaign when it comes to this issue. I come at it kind of like Rebecca comes at it. I started to prosecute jihadists back in the 90s. The threat environment we're in today is reminiscent of right before 9/11, except right before 9/11 we didn't have war raging in Europe and in the Middle East, where Israel's looking at a two-front war now. It's crazy to have someone who's not compos mentis president.
Really. Right, and I just point to Matt Gorman's, what he wrote, which was the idea that folks who have fallen in love with the relevance and fame that Biden has brought them were willing to give that up is hilarious. That goes to Hunter and the grandchildren and Dr. Jill. Emily Gooden's article was phenomenal. I encourage everyone to read it because it touches on everything we're talking about today. Sequestering the president, so resident staff and aide didn't see the extent of his health issues. And by the way, if he's the only one that can save democracy, I thought these 4 years speak for themselves and have been incredible. Why do we need saving? Hasn't he been the president? Yep, good question. Well, we're also learning new details about President Biden's mental state and how he is, quote, dependably engaged only between, listen to this, the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
There's an old saying in the Navy that the toughest job in the Navy is the Navy wife. And you've made the deployments, and you've been the wife at home, or you've been the spouse at home. You understand what I'm talking about. Your spouse has earned the right to apply for a VA home loan. The New Day 100 loan allows you to borrow up to 100% of your home's value. So if you're in a situation where you need some help financially, give us a call.
Call 1-888-928-2085.
Accidents happen everywhere and every day. Sweep it up the easy way with the Helio Air Broom, the lightweight, flexible broom that's sweeping the nation. In one pass, it gets it all. Watch, ordinary brooms only get half the mess, but Air Broom's Ultraflex blade is specially designed to lift and grip and leave nothing behind. And for anything that hits the floor, it's a one-stop shop with the Helio dustpan. For pets, it's the best. It easily removes pet hair on all floors. The Helio Air Broom gets the big stuff, yet precise enough for the
My fucking guys keep dying on me, for fuck's sakes.
Spilled milk and cereal, and an impossible to clean broken egg. Plus, it rinses clean every time. For hard surfaces
Wow.
and tile, it's the best. If you've got expensive hardwood floors, the Helio Air Broom is guaranteed to sweep without scratching. Plus, it gets into corners quick and easy. Use it in the bathroom. It'll sweep up hair, nail clippings, and floss. And with its telescopic handle, it becomes a squeegee too. Air Broom's sleek and slim, so you can store it anywhere. Watch, Helio's specially designed lift and grip Ultraflex blade effortlessly removes dust and hair on carpet, keeping your home mess-free. You'll love Helio or your money back guaranteed. So get your ultra lightweight Helio Air Broom at helioairbroom.com for just $29.99 or call 1-800-381-9750 now. Order today and we'll include our Helio dustpan absolutely free. We'll also throw in the Helio Mini, yours free too. Use the Helio Mini on your couch or furniture to clean fur quick and easy. And for the car, watch as Helio Mini cleans fur trapped in your car's carpet better than a vacuum. That's right, you can get the Helio Air Broom plus the Helio dustpan and the Helio Mini
A $60 value for only $29.99. So order now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Boyer. I'm a chiropractic physician. Early on in my practice, I was introduced to Balanced Nature. What an amazing product. I love it. I love what it has done for me, and I know what it has done for my patients. It is the best product that I've ever come across.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee while supplies last. Claim this offer by using discount code Fox News.
The two men misunderstood each other. It was us. You two go ahead. What's wrong between you? Bill first.
You are talking about starting another civil war. So we already got. Deadlands, Matyr is starting to kill us. We're not here. We'll drop. This family. We're killing our sons. They're trying to kill you. This is about stealing and murdering. Tonight, we just read the bombs off the road.
Fields and McCoys, streaming now on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com.
You know me when I get around McCoy.
It's a Darius car.
We're going to race him. Review Hatfields and McCoys, Forever Feuding, streaming now on Fox Nation. And don't miss an all-new season coming in September. Sign up at foxnation.com.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
We're getting concerning new details about President Biden's mental state and how White House staffers work around it. Axios reporting, quote, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Biden is dependably engaged. And many of his public events in front of cameras are held within those hours. Outside of that time range, or while traveling abroad, Biden is more likely to have verbal miscues and become fatigued, aides told Axios. And while the Biden family and Democrats are counting on him to stay in the race, there are serious national security concerns. Quote, U.S. bases in Europe on high alert for possible terrorist attack, according to the DoD. Iran warns of obliterating war if Israel launches an offensive in Lebanon. All that developing after Thursday's debate. Rebecca, our enemies, our adversaries, watched Thursday's debate. And outside of the hours of 10 and 4, a lot happens, notably last night at headlines of DoD.
No, I mean, as I watched the debate, I had this sinking, sick feeling. I know a lot of people were joking and mocking, but because of these threats, I was just, I found it very alarming. All lights are blinking red. Heightened terror threat against U.S. forces abroad in Europe. Of course, we have the Middle East, which is on fire, in part because this administration dismantled the previous administration's pressure campaign against the Iran regime. So we have terror threats all across the Middle East. Obviously, we have the largest land war in Europe since World War II with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A reported piece said that President Biden messed up when he was talking to Ukrainian President Zelensky about what kind of aid the U.S. was even providing him, mixing up what we were even providing. These are the things that the president must have command of this information and to speak clearly and articulately whenever he's talking about the differences between various countries and leaders.
Yeah, Emily, to that end, the Wall Street Journal said 2 senior European officials cited a European Union-U.S. summit in October in Washington, at which Biden struggled to follow the discussions. Both said he stumbled over his talking points at several moments, requiring Secretary of State Antony Blinken to intervene and point out the lines he should use. Now, some in the Biden administration dispute that characterization, but people are noticing and talking. The catastrophic PR disaster of a wake is enormous. So when people sort of pick and choose or try to criticize one example at a time, there are too many at this point to ignore or to explain away. To me, the most significant highlight, and I'm so grateful that you addressed it, is the dismantling of our allyship. Because when enemies are emboldened and when we are in a weakened position, the thought that we can count on our allies at least, on shared information, on our mutual respect of these relationships to carry us through, now is non-existent. Thank you to the incompetence of this president. And I have to point out when former Senator Claire McCaskill asks, how did we get here? There's no plan B. Well, it's sort of not our fault. And you haven't been listening to the Americans that have been clamoring this entire time that that person was not worthy or not fit to continue in his capacity as commander-in-chief. Anyone with a loved one in service right now could tell you that 4 years ago. I'll close with a question. I wonder what it feels like for Kamala, who's the acting vice president, to see up on screen 9 other individuals that are like, maybe one of these will work. It is so telling that the vice president isn't the natural understudy. She somehow is going to satisfy everyone else. Andy, I couldn't agree with you more that my concerns about the Biden mental acuity are not political ones, they are national security ones. So do you think there's been any discussion of a 25th Amendment? It'd have to be his cabinet. That's the only people who can intervene.
And it would have to be Kamala Harris. You know, she's the one who has to trigger it. Look, you can't have a president who's mentally impaired. And I'm not making a Republican point. I'm not making a conservative point. You think I want Kamala Harris to be president? It's like the last thing on the planet. But you can't have her who's mentally impaired. And we do. And we can't. So 25th Amendment, they are the ones who are supposed to. It should be Harris, the cabinet, and senior members of Congress. But they should be all over this. And it's not politics, it's the country.
It's national security. It's our troops. It's our troops abroad. Nancy Pelosi says we've got it all wrong. It's Trump who has dementia. My God.
Hi, I'm William Devane. Did you know there's only been 2 times in American history, 2, when the national debt was larger than gross domestic product? World War II and right now. That's a deep hole, and I don't know how we'll climb out. That's why I buy gold from Rosalind Capital. Rosalind Capital is a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metals. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Rosalind Capital to receive your free Rosalind Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and Silver Brochure. With Rosalind, there are no gimmicks, no hassles, and they have fast, reliable shipping. Ask yourself, are you safe? Make gold your new standard.
Call Rosalind Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone. I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight. In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. I'm under 7. Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death, in adults also with known heart disease. I'm lowering my risk. Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share
What the
needles with
fuck
friends or reuse
did I
needles.
just
Don't take
press?
Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
That's not the power of 3 with Ozempic.
Mike Johnson on Jesse Waters Primetime. As Trump's Supreme Court immunity decision looms, the House Speaker weighs in on the case. Tonight on Primetime.
We're up against a really bad guy. Just a quick stuff.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Amazing.
Get together with friends and family. Remember to ride. Reduce their driving. Because ride starts with you. It starts with a designated driver. And in the kitchen, you offer guests non-alcoholic drinks. When you call a friend to come and pick you up. And at the corner when you catch the last bus. In the driveway with a simple keys please or something when you decide to stay overnight. However you ride, thanks for doing your part to keep all this safe. A message from Rock Alive Drive Sober.
Let's get your insides back inside.
See? Teamwork. Come on.
Not even close.
You're mine.
We have brand new reaction to the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity. Judge Janine Pirro, Shannon Bream are here to break it down for us. They'll join us live top of the hour. Plus, as critics say, it was one of the worst moments, if not the worst moment of the debate. President Biden falsely claiming no troops died under his watch. A Gold Star family who lost their son at Abbey Gate. Us live. And the Cat 4 hurricane is making its way barreling towards the Caribbean islands. We are watching it. We have an update. Come join us live as America Reports top of the hour. Well, today's historic Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity, giving former President Trump another win. Over the weekend, he declared victory over Biden at the first presidential debate.
We had a big victory against a man that really is looking to destroy our country. We won a landslide that's too big to rig. This November, the people of Virginia and the people of America are going to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired, get out of here.
Now, despite the performance we all watched from President Biden, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says actually it's Trump who needs to get checked out. Watch.
My people are very much Biden, Kamala Harris, and this is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his connection, his thoughts do not go together. But not only that he just lies, he doesn't even know the truth. So if we're just talking about mental acuity, let's be fair about it.
Oh, right. A very fair opinion coming from the former speaker.
Oh, yes. I didn't realize that Dr. Biden had another powerful Democrat female who's also a medical professional, Nancy Pelosi, doing some armchair diagnosing. I think we should be fair. I think she's absolutely right. So let's give these cognitive tests to both presidential candidates and Nancy Pelosi, and then let's compare scores. Whoever gets the highest score gets to be president. That's my rule. Who's your money on?
I'm feeling stupider watching this stuff, I gotta say. I mean, since Thursday night, that's my major takeaway. I'm glad the Supreme Court wrote a nice opinion today, so we can remember what the government looks like when it's functioning properly. But these guys all got to retire, and I'm like considerably older than all of you, so maybe I'm the one who has to go next.
No.
But these guys got to get out of town.
At the end of the day, though, the "I know you are, but what am I" argument coming from figureheads of the Democrat Party is, to me, sort of perhaps pulls back the curtain on the panic that they are feeling, and what do they do now?
And just to zoom out one more time, this panic is coming at a really bad time for U.S. national security. The threat environment continues to get worse. China acting aggressively against treaty ally Philippines. Obviously, Russia continues to be aggressive and threaten a larger scale war. The Middle East is on fire. So to have Nancy Pelosi, she's been giving her threat briefings. She knows how bad things are. To try to cover up this and point fingers, it's really bad. Again, to Andy's point, this is about the country. Country must come above all.
Is this going to work, Haley? Christopher saying no. Okay, so first of all, she clearly got the DNC talking point that Trump lied in the debate. You know, I challenged on this couch, what lie did Trump tell? No one could come up with one. I've yet to see anyone talk about all the lies Trump tells, and, that's the point, that there's no footnotes to it. But secondly, to claim that Trump has dementia, everyone watched that debate. He was with it. He was, comprehensive in his answers. He threatened or challenged, I should say, Joe Biden in an effective manner. You're going to say this guy has dementia? The American public doesn't believe that. And they deserve better. All right, guys, more on number in a moment.
Introducing Allison's Black Psoriasis. She thinks her flaky gray patches are all people see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat black psoriasis. Otezla can help you get clear skin and reduce itching and flaking. Routine blood test required. Prescribing Otezla for over a decade. Also approved to treat psoriasis. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla and depression, suicide thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, a girl's day out is a good day out. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
It's good to get some fresh air.
Fresh air?
Hi, guys.
Bill, you look great.
Now that I have Inspire, I'm free from struggling with the mask and the hose.
Inspire?
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside my body with a click of this button.
No mask.
Survive are no longer themselves. This cannot continue. Find them, stop them.
Where you go? I'm going to get Inspire.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Save it.
Whether you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and beyond, I know you're seeing changes in the skin on your body.
We'll see you guys